At any rate, let's resume recording here and let's start. Let's talk about some of these uncommons. So I was saying that there's only 10 uncommons, gold uncommons in the whole set, one per color pair. And so the fact that we don't see any in our pool, that's going to happen with some frequency. Let's take a look at some of the others that we're seeing here. And let's actually start by focusing in blue, since we had 3 rares in blue. Probably didn't hear me talk about our rares because my audio was failing there, but just a reminder of what our rares are. So we've got 3 blue rares, and all of them are playable rares. Some of them we'd really like to play. Consult the Star Charts is just awesome. So we're going to focus our look at the uncommons here initially into blue. We've got Scour for Scrap, 3 in a blue instant. Either search your library for an artifact card, put it in your hand, and then shuffle, or return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. It's pretty expensive, but note please that choose one or both, so you can tutor for an artifact and get an artifact back from your graveyard. This plays really nicely with our artifact synergy cards here. Enchant artifact you control, and you can make token copies of it. And Memnon is letting you cast artifacts from the top of your library and giving your artifacts tap ability. So the next thing we might want to do is go in and we'll clear those filters, but we'll search for type artifact here. Oh, if we can spell correctly. Artif-cat, artificial cats. We don't have any artificial cats. So let's start looking at some of the artifacts that we do have. And again, let's initially focus kind of on blue. So Cryogen Relic is one of the best artifacts in the set. When it enters or leaves, you draw a card, and it can sack itself to tap something and stun it. So it's pretty great, and you want ways to recur it. It would be great, for example, to play Relic early. You draw a card, then you either sack a Relic to something else, or you use its own sack ability. You send it to the graveyard, and then you use that card that we just saw to be able to get it back. So Relic is definitely a card we would like to play. Mech and Shield Maid is the typical blue 2-drop that's a defender until you do something, and it can attack as long as an artifact enters. That's potentially playable if we have an artifact heavy deck. We have this 3 mana 3/2. When it becomes tapped, untap another target permanent. That's going to be relevant if we have artifacts that can tap to do things. It also plays nicely with Memnon, because Memnon turns your creatures into things that can tap for blue mana. So you could imagine tapping it for mana, then you tap the Sentinel, and then you untap the previous thing you tap for mana. Maybe you attack with it or something like that. That's interesting. So we'll put it in for now, and we'll see if we can build something kind of around the Memnon idea. Mech and Assembler, when an artifact enters, create a 2/2 robot. That is just awesome, right? Like, if we're building an artifact heavy thing, this is great, and this can just be an engine. And now you have an example, by the way, of an artifact that we would like to go tutor for, that we would like to get back out of the graveyard. Like, this could just start pumping out 2/2s all over the place. Pretty sweet. This is going to be a good engine card in our deck. We have Specimen Freighter, which is another spacecraft. Notice the station cost is way lower. It's only 9. But this is a sweet uncommon spacecraft. 6 mana, 4/7. When it enters, return up to 2 target non-spacecraft creatures to their owner's hands. This should feel a lot to you like the 6/7 rare dragon from Dragonstorm, that when it came in, bounced 2 things. But the only difference is it's not a 6/7 flyer when it comes in. You need to pump 9 power into it, and then when you pump 9 power into it, then it becomes a 4/7. When it attacks, the defender mills 4 cards, and it's flying, of course. this is a win condition, right? It's going to come in late, and milling 4 is a, you know, if you think about it coming in on turn 6 and attacking by turn 7, your opponent has had, let's say, at minimum 6 turns at that point, which means your opponent has drawn minimum 6 cards. So your opponent has drawn at minimum 13 of the 40 cards in their deck, if they've drawn no other cards for no other reason, and if they're on the draw. If they're on the play, they've drawn 14 of the 40 cards by that point because they've had one more turn than you. And now there's, what, 26, 27 cards left in their deck? So they're at a minimum 7-turn clock just on milling, and actually it's shorter than that because they're going to draw a card each of those turns. So you have to think 4 plus 1 plus their next draw every time. So really it's like a 5-turn clock at minimum to mill them out. So plus it's just 4/7 flyer. Like, bounces 2 things. Like, this is, if you ignore the mill text, and you're paying 6 mana to bounce 2 things, that can be a game-ending play, a massive tempo swing. So we like Specimen Freighter quite a bit. Okay, then you remember that we had the Requiem Monolith as another artifact that gave us some repeatable card draw. So let's throw that in there for now, and let's look at some of the other black artifacts that we have. We have Hilder Blade, which is one of the very few equipments in the set. Only costs 1 mana, but it's equipped for 4. But it's got the Void ability. If a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, or a spell was warped, attach this equipment to target creature you control. So you can equip for free at the end of your turn. Is annoying, but it is an artifact that enters for cheap, and you know, it makes your creatures better defenders because it attaches at the end of your turn, and all of a sudden you're +3/+1 to some wimpy something else. Like, you know, imagine your robot defender here is now a 6/3. Well, it's going to be able to defend quite a few things at that point. So we'll throw that in for now. The equip cost is very expensive, but you know, we'll have to see as our deck gets constructed how often we're going to be able to warp or make things leave the battlefield. Dubious Delicacy, awesome artifact. That's a removal spell. It's got 3 mana flash. Target creature gets -3/-3. You can sack it to either gain 3 life or have target opponent lose 3 life. This should feel very much to you like what was it, Ariette's Poisoned Apple from Wilds of Eldraine. That one stole your opponent's creature, so this one functions as a removal spell, but it's sweet. It's a food that can be an anti-food for your opponent. A removal spell that's an artifact is great when we're looking for artifact synergies. I'm going to skip to this one because it's one of my favorite cards in the set. The Monoist Circuit Feeder, 4/4 Nautilus. When it enters, until end of turn, target creature you control gets its power pumped by X, and target creature an opponent controls gets its toughness reduced by X, so it removes something. When X is the number of artifacts you control, yes please. I would love to have multiples of this, and now you can start to see, by the way. Let's go back to our rares just for a second. We're going to clear artifact and go back to our rares, and now I would like you to see how the Monoist Circuit Feeder is something we would love to copy over and over and over again by Moonlit Meditation if we can get things that will make tokens. So far, we don't, I think, have anything that will make tokens for us. Oh, excuse me, we have the Mechan Assembler. See if you can start to see the engine and the combination here. So, Mechan Assembler makes a robot once per turn, anytime an artifact enters. Now, not once on your turn, which means, for example, Mechan Assembler could pump out a robot, and some of the cards in this set pump out a robot that's tapped. This one, fortunately, does not pump out a robot that's tapped. It comes in untapped. But imagine, for example, you're on your opponent's turn, and you have Mechan Assembler on board, and you play Dubious Delicacy on your opponent's turn. Something they have gets -3/-3, and oh, by the way, you now have another 2/2 blocker. Awesome. Now imagine that you have Moonlit Meditation, and you have enchanted your mana with Circuit Feeder, and every time you make a 2/2 robot, you make another token that's, or I'm sorry, instead of making, you don't make both. Instead of making the 2/2 robot, you have the option to have Moonlit Meditation make another 4/4 flyer that gives the +X and the -X ability. This is, we'll have to see how much this wins. This is going to be a lot of fun to play. This deck is going to be a lot of fun to play. We're for sure going to play Consult the Star Charts, and why wouldn't we play Memnon right now if we have all this artifact synergy? Looks great. Eternity Elevator's an artifact. I don't really know if we're going to care. That's a play it on 5, and then you can play, you know, things for 8 or 9 on turn 6. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. Let's clear this and let's go back to our artifact search here. See what else we can play. Fell Graveship is a black artifact. When this enters, mill 3 cards, then return a creature or spacecraft from your graveyard to your hand, and for 8 it can turn into a flying lifelink. I mean, 3 mana, right? Like, 3 mana, and you can, it's, all of these enter the battlefield effects on these spacecraft are going to feel really underpowered because they can become something later. And so mill and get something back, it functions like kind of a, you know, backdoor draw spell. Why not, right? Why not? Then let's go into some of our colorless stuff. So we have the Virulent Silencer. This is one of my favorite cards in the set. When a non-token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. So do that 5 times, you win the game, right? If you look at what we have here, we've got, let's just switch to you just for a second. We've got the Mech and Shield Mate is an artifact creature. The 2 Nanoform Sentinels are. The Grav Ship can become one. The Mechan Assembler is one. The robot tokens don't count for the poison counters because they're tokens. Memnon is not an artifact itself. That's important to note. Specimen Freighter can become an artifact creature. Circuit Feeder is an artifact creature. We've got a pretty decent density of them right now. So I like Virulent Silencer. It's also something that can be a sweet copy the thing for the Moonlit Meditation. When you make, but I would like some more things that make tokens. So we're gonna go searching for them. We do have this White Splash that might be a consideration. This is an equipment. Create a 2/2 and attach this equipment to it. It becomes a 3/4 with flying. It's expensive for 5, but you know the ability to get flying, equipping for 3 to give something flying is not horrible late in the game. This is a consideration. It doesn't make an artifact a non-token artifact creature itself, but it does give evasion to some of our things. So this is a possible splash we could consider. Pinnacle Killship is one of the 2 common spacecraft. When it enters, it deals 10. It's very expensive. This is potentially a reason to play Eternity Elevator, to be able to get Killship out earlier than normal. And then you only need to put 7 power in it to make it a 7/7 flyer. That's a relatively cheap cost. So it's heavy up front. But then, you know, imagine if you play Eternity Elevator on 5, and then you play Killship on 6, plus maybe something else like a 2-drop or something. And remember that Memnon is going to make all of these artifacts, even if they haven't been stationed yet and turned into creatures. Remember that Memnon is going to make them able to be tappable for blue mana to cast other artifact spells, and we can do that from the top of our deck. So there's a lot of synergy already going on here. So I'm going to play Elevator. I'm going to play Killship. We'll just early access this to play with cards and see how they do, and can you put it together. And if we're playing Elevator, why not play Colossus? I mean, we can warp Colossus in for 3 as a 9/9. You can only do that one time, and then it goes into exile, right? But if it goes into exile, then you can cast it from exile for 9. And why might you want to warp it in for 3? Because it's 9 power that can do things like, oh, I don't know, make your graph ship a creature by tapping it. Because it's not going to have summoning sickness when it's going to have summoning sickness when it comes in, but its summoning sickness is not going to matter, just like vehicles. It's not going to matter for things like stationing, because it's not tapping itself. It's being tapped by the spacecraft in order to station it, or add station counters. So we're going to play Colossus. Why not? Let's have fun with the big card. And we'll leave our auxiliary boosters out for now. Right now, if you look at what we have, we've got 8 creatures, 10 non-creatures. Like 2 or 3 of those non-creatures can become creatures. We have 15 artifacts. We are just rolling in the artifacts here, and we're not reaching to play these artifacts. Like each of these artifacts we've looked at have synergy with some of the others. So now we got 5 cards left to kind of make our deck. Let's just go and look at some of the other blue and black cards that we have and see. Right now I would like a little bit more removal if we could get it, and let's see what a little bit more removal and maybe a little bit more card draw. Right now our card draw is concentrated in Consult the Star Charts and then Requiem Monolith, which has life loss attached to it, so it'd be nice to get like 1 or 2 good card draw spells in there that we haven't seen. Flash Flyer, sack the creature, draw a card. Sacking the creature could trigger Void. Draw a card and trigger Void, like on our Hilderblade. And it's a 1-drop, 1-drop Flash Flyer. I'm game for that. Divert Disaster is the counter spell for 2. If you look, we're a little bit thin in our 2-drops. I probably don't mind playing this is more control-y, so I don't mind playing a counter spell early. 2/1, when you cast your second spell, put a counter on it. I'm not super interested in that here. I don't know how much double spelling we'll be doing. Modulation, tap target artifact or creature, draw card. That's card draw, and you could use it to tap down an attacker. It's got possibilities. Scout for Scrap, we saw that earlier in our in our uncommons, and now that we have a bunch of artifacts in here, we love that card. That's potentially basically draw 2, and draw 2 with selection, obviously. Embrace Oblivion, sack an artifact or creature and destroy target. This is one of the best removal spells in the set. It's going to be sweet. It's sorcery speed, but 1 mana. And imagine, like, you play your Cryogen Relic, you draw a card, and then you sack it with Oblivion, and it leaves the battlefield, and you draw a card again. Awesome. It's like the perfect removal spell for our deck. Dark Endurance is your +2/+0 indestructible. Costs 1 less if you target a blocker, so you make your blocker indestructible. It's fine, but let's look at our other cards here. Lightless Evangel, when you sack another creature artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. You want to be doing some pretty heavy sacking stuff for that to be repeatable, although it is a 2-drop that we might play. Here's your automatic sacrifice. Sack another creature, surveil 1. We actually have some of the pieces that are the automatic sack that, let's see, do we have the, no, we don't have the infinite combo here. That's too bad. But anyway, here's another automatic sack, lifelink. You may sack something. If you do, get +2/+0 until end of turn. We might play one of those for the life gain. That lets us play Requiem Monolith, or tap that multiple times. I could consider playing one of those. 2/1 that dies into a 2/2. It's a 2/1 flyer, but again, it's fine. can block and leave something behind. Decode Transmissions is a draw spell. With Void, draw 2, lose 2 life, or draws 2, your opponent loses 2 life if something left the battlefield. I'm going to want to play that draw spell here. Blade of the Swarm cares about cards with Warp. We don't have a lot of those. Gravblade Heavy is going to be a 4/4 with Death Touch all of the time in our deck. We're going to be controlling artifacts constantly, so that's a consideration. But we are already at 40 cards with the stuff that we've added so far. And we're more heavily non-creature, but we're kind of control-y. I don't know what... I think we should play with the deck that we have right now and see kind of how it goes, and then see maybe if we want to swap some things out. I can see us maybe playing Evangel as another 2-drop if we are hurting too much there. I can see us playing a Crawler. I kind of want to play a Crawler. I think we might drop a Sentinel and play a Crawler just for the life gain. And I can also see us potentially playing a Gravblade Heavy, maybe swapping something out for that. A 4/4 Death Touch is just an awesome blocker. Modulation has some cool synergy with the Sentinel, by the way. Tap the Sentinel, draw a card, but tap the Sentinel and untap something else. You know, you can tap your own thing, but you can also tap your opponent's thing. Yeah, let's go with that. This is what our deck looks like. You can kind of see it in full here. We'll just double check the mana. What do we want to play on turn 1? We're more concerned with playing the 1/1 creature than we are playing either of these black cards, so I like and all of our 2-drops are blue, so I like having more islands and swamps. That looks good. We're 11-8 there. Yeah, we want 8 swamps. The double black for the circuit feeder is important. And should we give it a shot? Let's give it a shot. 4/4 for 4 passes the vanilla check. Yes, it does. 4/4 for 4 with Death Touch is particularly nice. Yeah, Umbrocaller Zealot is also one of the pieces of the infinite combo that we don't have in black, unfortunately. But anyway, we ended up pretty fun here. If you're just joining us, we've got blue-black massive artifact synergy, and our rares almost all play into it too. This is going to be a lot of fun to play. Eternity Elevator into some big stuff, and let's see how we do. Play some games here. Alright, opening hand. Do we like some heavy plays? Delicacy gives us an early removal spell, that's nice, buys us a little time. Colossus, we don't have anything to warp it in for at this point, but we've got our assembler that's our kind of our engine. We've got scrap that's going to let us go find 1 or 2 artifacts. So yeah, let's keep it. Let's see. Love the Neutron-like board. It's so awesome. This is such a sweet looking board. Any shenanigans? Oh yeah, that's good. We can bring up our Minority Report display. That's good. Alright, opponent's playing forests. Each player creates a lander. Interesting. Green-white. Okay. Let's just kill their thing. But let's wait to flash it in and do it during their turn, and see if we can make it so that they can't quite they can't use their lander token during their turn. Oh, we might end up not being able to do that. Let's see. Hopefully we won't get gotten by that. Lander token's fine, though. That's sweet. This is the little icon that shows you that Void is triggered, by the way. Because a permanent left the battlefield does not have to be your own. Oh, the double striker. Thank you very little. Well, let's see. We have Embrace Oblivion. We don't have a ton of removal spells. We could certainly sacrifice the Lander to destroy this. We could also sack the Delicacy and then get it back with Scour for Scrap. I don't know how much I like receiving a couple of double strike attacks. Yeah, I think I just want to kill this right now. I don't like the ability for this to grow or get pumped and do 10 to us or something like that. So we're going to Embrace, and can we use the Lander token? Yeah, I think we're going to Embrace. We're going to do it this way. We're actually going to sack our Delicacy because we can get it back with Scour for Scrap. Then we're going to play Swamp. This will be efficient use of mana. Play the Hilderblade. And then we're going to hold up the mana because we might have a counterspell as blue, right? And then we're going to sack the Lander token and go get another blue. Okay. 4/4 trample with landfall. Got it. Let's go get a blue mana. Or an island. I should speak properly, shouldn't I? Okay. Let's see. Scar for Scrap. What artifact card do we want? We would really like to go get Monolith Circuit Feeder with like several other artifacts on board. We want to get Delicacy back from the graveyard, which won't kill their Crasher. If we play Assembler, we run the risk of falling into like a green bite spell and then being way behind. So I think we're going to just play this island. We're going to Scour, choose both, get the Delicacy back, and then do we have any better? Yeah, I mean, we could get Killship. Because we don't have enough artifacts on board to use Circuit Feeder. Let's just get Killship so we guarantee that we can kill their thing with one more land on board. They know we have it, fine. Because then we can Killship, and then on next turn we can warp Colossus, station the Killship, and have a 7/7 flyer on board. That looks pretty sweet. They're going to do 5 for us. We would really like to draw land on the next turn so that we can Killship the Crasher. It's kind of spending all your mana in one turn to kill one thing, but, you know, they've already used 3 of their mana to put an additional land on the board to make this a 6/4. Yeah, okay. 2/4 that could be a 4/4. Not super worried about that. We don't get our land. It's very disappointing. That's very disappointing. I still really don't want to play Assembler into nothing. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play Sentinel, try to draw out whatever removal spell that they have. Yeah, good point about the removal spells there. Switching the order, what was used on what. I think we're just going to play out Sentinel. We're going to try to draw out a removal spell, and then we're going to use Sentinel as a blocker. They know we have Delicacy, but we can block the 4/4, for example, and -3/-3 at making Sentinel potentially able to block it. Slow down the game. those of you watching in chat, while we're waiting for our opponent to make a decision here, what are your color pairs you're most looking forward to playing in Edge of Eternities? You got any that you got your eye on so far? That's annoying. Fight spell and can't be blocked. We might have to use Delicacy just to keep our Sentinel alive. It's not going to be removing anything right now. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Yeah, red-green landers. You know, red-green lander. I think a super key card to red-green landers is the green uncommon spacecraft. The green uncommon spacecraft is when it enters, you can sacrifice a land or a lander token to put 2 basics onto the battlefield tapped, and then you trigger all the second land, all that kind of stuff. Oh, this is going to be so sweet. They can, you know, let's see. That's repeatable. They could kill us next turn if they draw 2 spells. But we got to kill the 4/6 obviously, so we're gonna kill ship here. See how we do. Boom. Kind of unfortunate we didn't draw the land on time there, and we haven't really had time to get the assembler out and start pumping with it. Yes, yes, yes. Make it big. I understand. Okay. 6 damage to us. Got it. That's unfortunate. All right. Do we have an out here? We warp in Colossus, and we station our kill ship, making a 7/7 flying blocker. Great. Then we can sack Delicacy to gain 3 life and stay out of range of this, even if it gets to 4 power. Man, I wish we had 8 mana. Because then we could Assembler and then warp in Colossus and make a 2/2. It's probably not better, though. If we play Elevator, then we have 5 mana available. Oh, that's enough. That's sweet. Yeah. Let's do that. We'll play Elevator. Okay, now we're going to tap Elevator for the 3 mana that we need to warp in Colossus. Okay, then we're going to station using Colossus. Now we have our 7/7 flyer. We still have the 2 mana left for Delicacy. That is pretty good. We will not attack with the kill ship because we need it as a blocker. Oh, even better. We get to attach our equipment. That's fun. This is the kind of turn that this deck is set up to do. This is what this deck loves to... Well, look at that warp effect. That's cool looking. It's sitting in the ether somewhere. And we just die. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're dead. They held up the big removal spell. That's too bad. Yep, good game. Okay, we lose. All right. Still a fun game. I like the pieces of our deck. Yes, that is magic. That is magic. All right. Let's give it another go. See what we can do here. Oh, they have not changed the Final Fantasy messaging yet. They changed everything else about the main client, but not the messaging. All right. Decent start with mana. We get our 1-drop. We get a 2-drop counter spell. Sweet. The defender that cares about artifacts, which means it can attack basically all game for us. This is a sweet start for us. This is really nice. Really nice. We're not worried about will we draw the big things. We have plenty of big things to draw. We can play all of our cards, and our opponent has just mulliganed. We'll say hi. Hopefully they did not interpret that as we're waiting for you to go. I'm really just saying hi. I promise. Alright. We'll flash on the flyer on their turn. Surprise, surprise. 1-drop jellyfish for Popper? Yeah. Yeah. Sack draw card is going to be really good in this format for, I mean, 2-mana draw card, like, that's normal rate, right? And sack draw card to activate Void is really good. Really good. Alright, we will not hold up Divert Disaster. We will just attack and we'll play Shieldmate. Because you know what we're going to be able to do next turn? Play an artifact. I promise. Got a nice turn 3. We can either play Hilderblade and hold up Divert Disaster. Yeah, I don't want you to gain life, so I'm going to attack into you. That's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Decode Transmissions, by the way. Look at its Void ability. Your opponent loses life for you drawing cards. Gale Blade. You can activate Void. Nice. Alright. Grav Ship. Indirect draw card. With selection. Okay. Creature or spacecraft. Amazing! None of them. But we can get these artifacts back from the graveyard later if we want to. So, oh, except we lost the card that let us do that. That's terrible. Alright, sweet. Okay. We'll just attack. Thank you. Once we can't attack anymore, we have something to station. Gain a life. Good for you. Hey, like, we might be playing against Red Greenlanders, right? Thawbringer. Will your thawing ability work in outer space? Yet to be determined. Okay. Decode Transmissions. Well, interesting. Alright, we'll play the island. We don't have 2 black mana. That's annoying. I think what we're going to do is we're going to play the Hilderblade, attack into our opponent. If blocks happen, something's going to die. Hilderblade then attaches to our flyer, which is sweet, and then we'll hold up Divert Disaster. Because Decode Transmissions, we can always activate later by sacking the Gale Blade. So yeah, we're going to play this before combat to make our Shieldmate able to attack. Then we're going to just attack with the Shieldmate. Because that way, if Hilderblade attaches to the flyer, then we have a nice blocker. Sure, great for us. Please trade. Love it. You no longer gain life. End turn, we attach. Thank you very much. We have a 4/2 flyer that you have to deal with. Three mana or more removal spell? The green removal spell that got errated is 3 mana. You are warping this for 2. That's what the graphic is showing us, huh? You're warping this for 2. So we're going to divert that, because then they lose both abilities. Sorry. You don't get the initial ability or the follow-up. Oh, now you kill me, you sucker. Okay. Well done. Well done. That's sweet. Right, we can just kill their thing. We've got card draw in our hand. Yeah. Why not? Let's do it before they get to their turn and can pump with some green spell or something. Go ahead and surveil. That's good. Yeah, I think I'm happier about having countered their elite though. You know, it prevented them from putting 2 counters on their 4/2 and then bringing it in later as a X whatever, right? Oh, this is going to be really, really nice now. The question is going to be, do we want to gain life or do we want them to lose life? So we play the swamp. We can sack the delicacy and then void triggers on decode transmissions because delicacy has left the battlefield, which is awesome. I think we have plenty of life. I think I want them to lose life here. Because then this play is going to get them down to 11. Yeah. Alright. Sack it, you lose 3 life. Why do I have to target the only opponent I have? I hate that. Okay. Draw 2 cards. They're both lands. That is unfortunate. We have 1, 2, 3 big things. Embrace. Well, it's fine. I mean, they play something, we can just sack our equipment, I guess. So stupid. We have so many big things we could be drawing right now. So many big things. And we keep drawing. We are not wasting our removal spell on their 1/2. You can draw cards by sacking your lands if you want. You need lands a lot. Do I want the 4 mana 4/4? Yeah, I want the literally any card in my deck that's not a land. That's what I would like to have. I mean, the mono as Circuit Feeder would be sweet here. The 6 mana card. I've got 2 artifacts on board. Just kills the Scrapper. Nice. This is amazing. That's really amazing. But, you know, I'd also love to have my artifact that causes me to draw cards when things take damage. Love to have that too, but just about any card remaining in our deck is an awesome draw. And we have the removal spell if they play anything that's a real serious threat more than this 1/2. I wonder if they're going to start sacking lands. They've got to just have what, removal ad nauseum in their hand right now. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? We're going to find out. Check this out. We can't attack this turn, right? And we don't really need to block this turn, right? Yeah, that's just expected. I was hoping we could start stationing our grav ship, but whatever. That's fine. Use the removal spell on the 2/3. I have many other things that I would rather you not use your removal spell on. Yeah, that's going to be oblivioned out of existence. After dealing me 7 damage. Yuck. Okay. What do you think? Do we want to look at our top 10 cards? And choose 2 of them? I think that's pretty good. We have 17 cards in our deck. Such a sweet card. We're going to Oblivion this Godma out of existence, so we're going to kick this. Let's look at a bunch of cards. Alright, what do we want? Don't even show me the lands, man. I mean, we could... Like, Kill Ship is a consideration. Circuit Feeder, pretty good. I mean... Or just take... oh gosh, we lost our robot creator, didn't we? Memnon lets us cast from the top of our library, and we're going to have quite a few artifacts left. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to take Memnon and the circuit feeder. And then I'm gonna Oblivion this dude with the blade. I like having the grav ship for giving us lifelink. And we're gonna no. I don't want mana actually. I want the station ability, please. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Look at what we're drawing next turn. It's the dragon, but it's a spacecraft. But it's the dragon. Okay. Put a 1/1 counter on it if. Guess what, dude? Okay. Return stuff to their hand. We definitely need that right now. We can then play Silencer, tap both things, station the grav ship, gain life. That seems like a really good play. Okay, Freighter. Neither of you are spacecraft. Sorry, soldiers. Soldier and Scout, you're headed back. Such a good card. Go away. Are you going to kill me first? Okay. Alright, well I won't be able to stay... Oh, that's terrible. I should have done that in a different order. That was dumb. Dumb. Bad magic. I mean, I'm going to draw it next turn, that's one thing, but... really dumb. Yeah, we're going to be able to station it now, but not attack with it. Play Silencer. We're one artifact short of being able to kill this. Alright. Play Silencer. Bad move. We have 7 lands left in our 13 cards, by the way. Just way too many. I don't like it. We play this, we're going to have 4. Gosh, that is so unfortunate. And we really can't afford to station this yet either, because then we're going to have 2 things tapped, and we're going to have 2 things tapped, and we're not going to... We can kill the Scrapper, basically, but we kind of need the second blocker in case their odds of still having removal spells are pretty high. Oh, well, actually, we could station with the Silencer now because it's going to have a massive amount of power. Yeah, that's nice. That's actually really nice. Now we station this. Station the grav ship, so we have a lifelinker in play. We don't attack with it, but we'd rather have the 3/2 lifelink blocker than the 2/3 non-lifelinking blocker, right? So that's cool. Okay, you go get a land. Fine. I don't know why they wouldn't do that on their end step, so they would get a counter on the Skywarden, but maybe they got other plans for the Skywarden. Kill one of my things, attack with the Skywarden, make me block with the other one. I'm guessing that is coming. I'm guessing. Yeah, that's big. Kill the lifelinker. Have to block with the circuit feeder. Yep. Gotta block. Yeah. Big. Not good. Not good. We are 1 turn away from losing here. Hold up the card. It was a pretty bad mill that we had earlier. That's about as bad as it gets, what we milled earlier. But where is our... Oh, the mechan assembler. Yeah. Yeah, we're dead. Good game. Good game. We lose. All right, let's maybe go in and throw in one of those 4-mana 4/4s as another another good creature blocker in there, and see what we might remove here. I like everything we have here. Star Charts, Relic, which we haven't drawn yet. Divert Disaster worked pretty well for us in that last game. The Defender, we kind of need that early. And the 2-spot, we had the other 2 that we talked about playing also, the Evangel, but it's when you sack, not when something leaves. This is just going to be a 2/2 a fair amount of the time. Maybe you can get it to be a 3/3. Maybe we just remove this Sentinel. It's only really got synergy with Memnon anyway, and we've got plenty of things that we can play at 3. Let's ditch this Sentinel here, and let's put in the Graveblade Heavy, 4/4 Death Touch. Seems good. Yeah, let's give that a try. Alright, there we go. Sealed opponent. Yuck. Flash it in, draw a card, spend all 3 mana to get an additional card. They're going first. Do we have early plays? Kind of. This is a borderline keep, but I'm going to keep it. We're 0-2 right now anyway. Not too worried. And we draw our swamp. Awesome. All good. All good. Draw a card, lose a life. Void, draw another card. Not bad. I would love it if it said surveil another one and draw another card, but yeah, okay. Hi. Hello. You are okay. We will not sack it to draw a card at this point, thank you. Hey, we drew our 4/4 right away. Nice. Decode or grab ship? I think grab ship. Get something on board. See your hand. Get another artifact on board so that they remove one. Our 4-drop still 4/4 with Death Touch next turn. I like it. Let's do that first. Plus they could have counterspell up here. I kind of don't care about them countering an artifact because I have a card that will get it back if I really want it. That's pretty amazing that we have not had a hit in 2 straight games with this card. The odds of that are very, very, very low. Yeah, sure. Depressurize is going to be sweet. Depressurize affects, not counting spacecraft obviously, kills 75% of the creatures in the set. 3 power or less, there's a lot of those. Oh, they've got Vestige. Warp for 4, play a 4-drop at this point, yeah. Alright. Deal with the heavy. Every creature in the set has ETB add station counters. Remember that. If you don't have a good reason to hold it up. Alright, when it leaves, man, this is where it'd be really nice to have a blue lock your thing down spell. Be so sweet. Alright, we've got meditation. We got to save it for later when we... Oh, yeah, it's so bad. Freighter does not want to pick up Vestige. Ugh. That's really bad. Alright. Decode. We have Death Touch. That's probably, I mean, we probably just want to kill it with our Death Toucher. Let's see what we can draw here. Cryogen Relic's nice. That's nice. Because stunning the Vestige is a great way to deal with it. And then we have ways to recur this too. That's good for us. I like it. We want to hold up the Death Toucher. Hold it up. Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. 4/1 Defender. What does it do? It stations things. Alright. Yeah, eventually we're going to want to Specimen Freighter our own heavy, and maybe something like their Sentry or another creature. But right now we need to sack the Relic so that this Vestige cannot kill us, and we want to do that on their turn. So what can we play in the meantime? We have nothing we can play for 4 mana. That's really frustrating. I mean, we could Warp Colossus to finish stationing the Grav Ship to be a lifelinking blocker, and then hold up the mana to be able to stun their Vestige on their turn. I like that. I like that. Okay, good. Next, combat. Attack, no. I mean, they can have removal, and we're... Oh, that's a defender. Yeah, we totally want to attack, because we're going to lock down the Vestige. We totally want to attack here. I almost screwed that up. We totally want to attack. We're going to hold up before the next combat. Yes. End turn. Okay. Oh, we can only stun a tapped creature. Read the cards. Read the cards. So we're going to have to take 7 here anyway. Yep. No. Fine. No Tifa's Limit Break this format. Yes, I'm going to stun your Vestige. Do you have a way to stop me? Yeah, okay, good. One of the best commons in the set. Cryogen Relic. It's going to be sweet. Okay, what are you? Surveil 2. Oh, the other common spacecraft. Besides Kill Ship is the Sweeper. 2 mana Surveil 2. Easy to turn it into a 2/2 flyer. This is going to be a pretty decent card. You play it late, like it's just a 2/2 flyer that surveils 2. It's nice, which, you know, adds to the clock. But we're in a good position now because we can play Freighter, and we can make them I know, picking up Sweeper, I don't know. Well, they've already just surveilled. How much mana are we going to have? We're going to have 7. We can play Killship efficiently here, but we might need Killship to deal with the Vestige later. Yeah, and we need to get the heavy back. So, yeah. They're going to be able to turn this, but this is just going to stall them for a turn. But I think this is the play here. Non-spacecraft. Read the cards. Well, that's why we do this stuff before pre-release, folks, so that we make these mistakes when it doesn't matter as much. We probably should have kill-shipped the Sweeper there, because boy would we... Gosh, they have so much surveil. Freighter would have much rather picked up the whale and the whale and our heavy. Garbage. So we'll use Killship to kill the whale now. Except Vestige is going to untap too, isn't it? Oh, we are in big trouble. They just have so much power on the board. Play a swamp. Yeah, we might be dead. Memnon is a flyer, that's something. It can block the 3/5, it can block the 2/2. But how do you deal with the Vestige? The answer might be you don't. Kill the Vestige, but then they play something for free. They can deal 5 twists in the air anyway. We have to hope that we play Memnon and we happen to have like our Dubious Delicacy on top, because we can only cast artifact spells from the top. Maybe our lifelinking blocker, but that's not an artifact. It's one of our few non-artifacts. Yeah, I don't see an out here. I think we have to do that, but to play the flyer and hope we hit something, and we don't. So that's pretty bad. Yeah, I think we die. Just play Monolith. Anywhere other than your hand, yeah. I think we're just dead. I think we are dead. Just attack with everything, dude. Right? Like, we lose. We lose. So, as synergistic as our deck was, it didn't play all that well. But let's reflect back on it. What did we need? We needed significantly more removal than we had. We saw so many big threats after big threats. More cheap removal. We had some cheap removal, but not nearly enough. So let's just briefly, we're about to be finished with this first stream here anyway, so let's look back and let's evaluate so that we know what to hunt for. I mean, we were in a sealed pool, so we certainly could have built this differently. Maybe looked at some other colors. We kind of built off of our 3 blue rares, but you know, if you look at our removal, we had Embrace Oblivion, Divert Disaster, like indirectly. We had Delicacy. We had Killship. Oops. And that's it. Right? Well, Freighter picks 2 things up, and then Circuit Feeder. So we had this removal, but we had 3 pieces of very expensive removal. We had 2.5 pieces if you count Disaster of cheap stuff. So definitely, this deck was lacking the cheap removal that would be necessary to get to the control-y big things. I mean, in the one game we got to have, you know, a really bonkers turn, but yeah, definitely short on cheap removal. And I guess, you know, secondarily you could say short on inexpensive blockers. I don't know, we could have done much more about that. You know, a 2/2, a 3/2, whatever. One of the things that we might say is, you know, despite the fact that we had some decent things, a couple of decent cards going on here in black, we might have said, well, because we were low on removal, maybe we should have tried to build this with white. We didn't have much ability to split. We did have one Gene Pollinator, you know, create a lander token. Let's see. Another potentially create a lander token. I'm just trying to see, like, could we have played green to be able to splash something? Splashing is going to be so hard in this format, especially in sealed. I mean, you have to get so lucky with your pool. But maybe, I mean, we removed 2 pieces of our removal by doing 3 pieces of our removal by doing that, which is significant, right? But if you say, well, what happens if we'd have played white and just said, I'm going to wipe the board and then reset it with my big stuff? We're exiling our own spacecraft, not great. Not our own artifacts that aren't spacecraft, though that's notable. But, you know, maybe you play a drone and you give yourself double strike as kind of a quasi-removal spell. We don't want to pump our team. Starfighter Pilot lets you surveil early. You can warp this in for a Radiant Strike as removal. But see, we don't really get that much more removal here, do we? You get the Wrath. Maybe we could have gone like red. We didn't look at any of these colors. We just the first pool we just built based on our rares. Full Bore is a great attacking spell. Plasma Bolt gives us some removal. Invasive Maneuvers gives us removal. Bombard, triple Bombard. Yeah, you know, maybe, right? That's 5 removal spells versus the 3 that we are getting in black. Bombard is conditional. Skywarden's an awesome blocker. We do lose some of the artifacts we had in black, but you know, we have these artifact creatures that we could play there. Not this. Oh, we had double orbital plunge too, making a lander token. Yeah. Artifact robot that is a mana dork. There's some of our card draw. Maybe something like this would have been better. I mean, we only have 11 artifacts, not 15, so we lose some of that. We lose some of that synergy, but we keep all of our big stuff that we had. We keep our engine, and we get way more removal. I bet this would have played a lot better. Well, you live, you learn, right? So thank you very much for attending the stream today. I may be on once later in the late afternoon or early evening, but my next scheduled stream is going to be tonight at 10 when we'll open and play another seal pool. So 10 p.m. Central. It's on the Twitch schedule. Thank you very much for joining. Hope to see you next time.